He's in downtown Sylacauga. We're joined this morning by State Representative District 33, Ben Robbins. And Ben, good morning to you, sir, and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, Jimmy Dale.
You better be nice today, man.
I am. That's why I have my pink kind of red tie on for Valentine's.
Yeah. Hey, it's a busy time for you guys. A couple of weeks into the session. What's going on in Montgomery?
It has been. We're 2 weeks in, and we've been jam-packed the first 2 weeks. We passed several bills out of the House. We've already passed one, the What is a Woman bill, which is defining in code what a man is and what a woman is, which is hard to believe we have to define that is. So that's the only bill that's been officially passed yet and signed by the governor, is defining the two genders in the law.
That should have been pretty simple, shouldn't it?
You would think it would be simple, but I guess people now question what that is, but we defined it as you're biologically born one, you're biologically born another. And that's what the law will say in Alabama now. But we've had a pretty fast and furious session. There's been a lot of issues, over the, in between the legislative sessions that have come up that we're dealing with. One of the issues that happened here locally is immigration. And so the House, the Senate's already passed a few bills, but the House, we are going to be filing our immigration package on Tuesday.
What is that about?
Well, I'm going to be carrying a bill that says basically we're going to do several things. What I'm going to be doing is creating transparency so the state knows and we know who's coming in and out of our state, and we know who the individuals are or entities that are bringing people in and out of our state. Because I think that was one of the big concerns, whether it was here or Marshall County or Enterprise or Baldwin County. It was, where did people come from and who brought them here? So we're going to make those companies or people register with the state so we know who you are if you're bringing people in. And then what we're going to do, which no other state's done this, and we're going to be kind of on the forefront, but it's about protecting our tax dollars. That we always heard that, and we know for a fact that all of the immigrants that come have sponsors, or most of them do. Well, the sponsors sign an affidavit with the federal government to say we'll provide services and we'll provide for this individual, and then they don't. Well, then Alabama Medicaid and food stamps then take care of that person. Well, we're saying we're going to change the law, and we're going to say that if you are an immigrant that has a sponsor and you apply and get a benefit, the state's going to then go and give that bill to your sponsor and make him pay it back, make us pay him back, make him pay us back. So we're not paying our tax dollars when someone else said they would do something.
And that's an ongoing issue, isn't it?
It is an ongoing issue, and we're going to make the state of Alabama, just like when an employer has to e-verify to make sure that you're a legal immigrant, we're going to make our government use a program called SAVES. So right now, some of the government entities and applications don't actually require to know what your immigration status is. So we're going to make them put it into a system, and then that system, just like E-Verify, will tell you, hey, John Doe is legally here. John Doe is entitled, according to the law, to receive this benefit, or John Doe has a sponsor and he needs to go see a sponsor for his health care.
I saw, I don't know, the last week or so, and I'd seen this way back, where in Mobile, a drag queen was reading to students or children in a setting, and then there's talk about that type of material in libraries and stuff like that, and that's caught the attention of the legislature.
It has. There's several bills that we have about how to expand. Do we expand our obscenity laws or enforce them, or how do they apply to libraries and government spaces? Because I think everyone agrees there's certain content that's age appropriate, and some young minds can't comprehend what they are reading, what they are seeing, and they should not see it. They just can't comprehend it. I mean, and it doesn't make any sense to me to have something that a child can't. I mean, they need to be reading, Dr. Seuss, not. We could probably come up with some colorful names. They don't need to be reading those books or have those people read it to them.
Ben, this is real life. This stuff is happening.
It is real life. There is a movement to desensitize us as people to, we'll say, countercultural things as if they are the norm. And it's to dehumanize us in a certain way, that we become just, it is to make us accepting of things that really are not normal.
Yeah.
And I think we have to take action in Alabama. So in Montgomery, we have to make sure that we stand up for what we'd say are more traditional family values, because that's what built this country. That's what we're based around, is a traditional family and traditional family values.
Yeah. There's also a bill increasing the number of potential employers a person has to contact to get unemployment benefits. That cleared the House as well.
It did. We passed that yesterday. So what that will do is, and that's some of your viewers might actually be in Ed Oliver's district from Dadeville, who sponsored that bill, and I was very supportive of and talked with Ed several times about it, where we're just increasing the number and putting a little more rigorous follow-up on, are you actually looking for work? You know, because what we're finding is people would just go on their computer and click one button and it would send their resume to 5 companies, and say, well, I applied to 5 places, so I'm done. And then that was it. We're going to make you have to go and follow up and make you, and there will be set standards on, all right, did you actually go look for the job? Or did you just hit a button and never return a phone call when they called you to say, do you want to start tomorrow? And that's what we were seeing.
And we laugh, but that stuff actually happens, you know.
Oh, that it actually happens. I mean, it's true. I mean, there are a lot of ways that we have some waste in Montgomery, but really the big thing we have in Alabama is a workforce that sits on the sidelines. We have a lot of individuals that could be in the workforce, and when we talk about how much we need to develop our workforce, we do. We need to, you know, one of the things is we need higher paying jobs. We need opportunities for individuals so they will probably get off the sidelines and go to work. And we need to cut some of these benefits, because the problem we have in America, and especially in Alabama, is not necessarily so much, yes, we have some income inequality, but what we have is that there are individuals that can make just as much not working as they can working, and so that's the real problem. And so it drives down wages, it drives down opportunity, because for some people, why would you go to work? And so we've got to figure out ways to incentivize people to go to work, because for all of mankind, you were incentivized to go to work because that was the only way to make money or feed your family. Now you don't have to go to work to do that, and so we've got to do something. And we have to do a lot of things to address that issue. District
33 State Representative Ben Robbins, our guest this morning. Well, in District 33, what's on the table for this session?
Well, there's a lot. I've got a bill somewhat related to that. I have one bill related to Medicaid, that what we see often in Alabama is, and even in this district and in the whole state, is that oftentimes a man and woman will not be married or will be cohabitating, and they will file for Medicaid as single and as a single mom, even though they're cohabitating and in all intents and purposes are married. Or they never were married, or they're divorced, and dad won't put the children on his insurance, and mom says, I'm single, so put them on Medicaid. Well, dad might work at Honda or have a good paying job, and it's not fair to the taxpayer to pay for your child's insurance when you're the father. You have a responsibility, and you should provide that insurance to that child. So what my bill will do is say, now if you have a child and you have a job, you will provide insurance for your child, not the state. And so I think that will be an accountability issue, accountability for fathers, that you need to take care of your children. And it will also save us tax dollars, because why should we as taxpayers pay when someone has a good job and just does not pay for their children?
You think that you'll find favor with that?
I think so. I think that it's smart tax for our tax dollars, and I think that it's about holding people responsible for their actions. If you have a child, you need to be responsible for your child. And I truly believe that, and I think most people believe that. But people have figured out, just like unemployment, ways to get better health insurance. Because why, if I'm working, would I want to have to pay for, why would I want to lose less of my paycheck? I'll just let the state and Medicaid pay for my child, and we won't get married, so she's technically single. And that's just not right.
We're talking with Ben Robbins, State Representative, District 33, and Coosa and Talladega counties. What are people in your district telling you that their real issues are, other than what we've already talked about?
Well, I think, going to jobs and opportunity, and people, especially in Coosa, but even in Talladega County, people don't want their children to have to leave. They want them to have a job so they can live close by. And the problem is we've got to create more opportunities. And that's what we're doing with Earth. And also exciting news that the governor, I guess we can talk about now, the governor announced $1.65 million is going to go to Childersburg to work on their industrial park to help get it further ready for future development. So that was a SEEDS grant, which is an economic development grant, which will help with some of the sewage that needs to be put in place there. So, I mean, that's exciting, but those are the things that I think I hear the most is just, we're losing values. Our values are changing, and that upsets me, and I wish there were opportunities for my children or my grandchildren.
So where are we with this Earth project here in Sylacauga?
Well, I'm sure you've seen the work trailers there now. So we are, I mean, it really is starting to make real progress. The general contractor's on site now. They're still doing some I'm not in the construction world, but pre-design work that is about to, they're about to get started. I mean, I keep hearing it could be just about any day. So that's very exciting that we're going to have Earth really start to take off.
So for people who may not know, what exactly is this project?
Well, it is we'll say a workforce development career tech center on steroids. It is everything. I mean, it is economic development from the ground up. So it is the East Alabama Rural Innovation and Training Hub, Earth. So it will have innovation and incubation. So people that want to start a business across all of East Alabama will have a place to go to get hands-on education on how do you start a business and assistance. So you're not just going out on your own and having to figure out how to do it. And it will keep your costs down. So you'll have shared space with other businesses and collaboration. So you can graduate out to a space, whether that be a retail business or a manufacturing business or a service-related industry. You can grow at Earth and then take your business back to Pell City if you wanted to, if you're from Pell City, or stay here in Sylacauga. Or on the other side, the training hub, the TH, is definitely a workforce center on steroids. We're going to have hubs within a hub. We've worked with, like for instance, Welborn and Legacy Cabinets, where we'll have a little hub based around kind of education on working at a factory, at a cabinet factory, on how to use a tape measure. And these will be basic skills that can go across any job. But we'll have a hub that's been provided by Honda focusing on kind of automotive. And then we'll also have a hospitality and a healthcare hub where we will learn skills that could then become pipelines into employment. So it will be kind of everything that you need if you are not sure what you want to do. And the thing that's so amazing about Earth is that it's not, we usually think of these for school-age children. Yes, school-age children will be there, but it's going to cater to adults as well. So that, single mom, that 25-year-old that has a child, didn't maybe take high school seriously, doesn't know what they want to do, and they realize that, hey, now I have some responsibilities and I want to do something with my life. Well, Earth will be there to help them. Earth will be there to guide them, and SAFE will be a component of Earth, and I think we all know what SAFE does for the community and those kind of that vulnerable population. So it will provide them there and provide them that kind of backstop to get off on their feet, and then the training will be right there to help them. And then they will graduate out and have, like I said, a pipeline directly to an employer.
It's a win-win, isn't it?
It is a win-win. I mean, we think that Earth will be a one of its kind for not just Alabama, but the entire country. And I could go on and on and on about it, but it will be transformational when it is fully developed, and it's already going to be transformational while it's developed. I mean, we're talking about a $30 million construction that we're talking about a lot of tax dollars being, materials being purchased in the Sylacauga, Talladega County community. We're talking about a lot of construction workers. I mean, we don't get many $30 million projects in the Sylacauga area. So just the development will be transformational.
Absolutely. Right before we go this morning, a couple of more minutes with District 33 State Representative Ben Robbins. Our highways and our prison system, talk to those.
Well, our highways, I think we're doing a good job at paving our state roads. There is still a lot more paving and improvements that need to be done. I know that Sylacauga is applying for a Rebuild Alabama grant. There are some things that, yes, we need to get more funding to our roads. And some of that is having to figure out how do we reduce our burden in other places, whether that be Medicaid or whatever that might be. We have to figure out how to get more dollars down to local communities to pave more roads. There's always going to be a problem in some local communities. I mean, for Coosa County, for instance, and even for Talladega County, we don't have a high tax base. So where do we get our local money to pave our own roads? And that becomes an issue. That the only way we do that is it's a chicken and egg thing. You don't have the money to pave the roads, but you need to pave the roads to get the industry here. So that's why I think earth will be important, but I think that we need to really focus on how do we grow and take small steps in Talladega County so we will have a bigger tax base to fund our roads. And Talladega County is growing. There are going to be several subdivisions built in Childersburg, which I think will then help with more of our tax base. And in terms of our prisons, there's still a lot more that needs to be done. We have our prisons are overpopulated. And
is there monies to build other prisons?
There is monies to build the prisons, and we've allocated money to do that. It's just anything with government doesn't happen overnight. And that's the frustrating thing, because some of the people, they live in terrible conditions, and the fear that I have, and I think we're taking steps, is the federal government. I don't think it'll happen in the Trump administration, but constantly under the fear that under the Biden administration, the federal government was just going to take over our prisons and say, you didn't do a good enough job, we're going to take care of it, now here's the bill, state of Alabama. And it would have been an astronomical bill.
Are we in good shape financially in Alabama?
We are in good shape financially. Our budgets aren't the amount we, as a state, we took in through tax dollars last fiscal year was not as high as the fiscal year before, but because we have a rolling reserve, what we call a savings account, it really didn't hit us at all. And so we're going to be able to continue to fund the state at the same level and have surplus because of our savings.
Is there COVID money still available?
Not really. That's pretty much going out the door.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's no more. There might still be some floating around that people are spending, but there's no more checks being written from the government.
Ben, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming by this morning. Keep up the good work. And you're just hitting the ground 2 weeks in Montgomery at the State House, and ways to go, but keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and happy Valentine's, everybody.
All right, Ben Robbins, State Representative, District 33, our guest this morning. We'll be back with some closing thoughts on Daybreak right after this.